Ben Franklin gets the shock of his life, the Telegraph is born, and Microsoft allegedly makes a dirty move. I'm Chris Gravine, and it all happened this week in tech history. This week in 1752, founding father Benjamin Franklin finally got the opportunity he'd been waiting for to prove a connection between lighting and electricity. As the skies over Philadelphia darkened, he gathered his supplies: a simple kite, string, a house key, and a Leyden jar, which was a primitive form of capacitor to store an electric charge. He then hurried out to a field and let his kite fly. Contrary to popular misconceptions, his kite was not struck by lightning. If it had been, he probably would have been killed. Instead, his kite picked up on the ambient electrical charge from the storm. When he noticed the loose threads on the hemp string standing erect, he moved his finger near the key and felt that same spark that we've all experienced after walking on carpet in our socks. Franklin continued his work with electricity, ultimately perfecting an invention that we still use in many buildings today, the lightning rod. In 1840 this week, Samuel Morse received the patent for the telegraph. It was while Morse was aboard a ship returning from Europe in 1832 that the idea of the telegraph entered his mind. There were discussions on the ship about Michael Faraday's recent invention of the electromagnet. Once Morse learned how the electromagnet worked, he came to believe that it could be used to send a coded message over a wire from one location to another. In 1843, Morse asked Congress for $30,000 to build an underground telegraph line from Washington, D.C. to Baltimore, Maryland. The funds were allocated, and the following year, Morse sent the first telegraph message. By the end of his lifetime, there were already telegraph lines crossing the vast Atlantic, connecting the continent of Europe to America. And this week in 1995, Microsoft and Netscape officials met at Netscape headquarters in Mountain View, California. Notes taken by Netscape co-founder Mark Andreessen accused Microsoft of threatening annihilation if Netscape did not stop making their Netscape browser for the Windows market. Andreessen compared the meeting to a visit by Don Corleone from the Godfather films. He later joked, "I expected to find a bloody computer monitor in my bed the next day." Netscape refused to back down, and in August that year, Microsoft introduced version 1.0 of its web browser, Internet Explorer, and a full-fledged browser war was on. Andreessen's notes from that meeting were later used in the massive antitrust case against Microsoft. That's our look back at This Week in Tech History, brought to you by IFA in Berlin.
IFA, the Global Innovations Show. 6,000 media representatives, 2,600 from abroad. It's IFA time. Meet the official partner of the future in Berlin.
Visit us online at intotomorrow.com, where you can check out our many posts, find out how to listen to our weekly radio show, and subscribe to our free podcasts. Until next week, I'm Chris Gravine, and I'm History.